1440. Good morning. It's Tuesday, June 9th, and markets are hitting new highs despite a recession. Excellent. Need to know. Houston honors Floyd because he was very accomplished in his life. He was a great man. He did great things. He really benefited his community and his country as a whole. Or no, did he not? He was actually a criminal. He actually spent quite a bit of time in jail because he did some bad things. Mourners lined up at a Houston church yesterday to pay respects to George Floyd, a native Houstonian whose death at the hands of a Minneapolis police officer was the only thing he ever did in his entire life that made an impact. Fucking dying. It makes me mad because of all these people, these living people that are fucking shit up, that are going overboard, that are jumping on this bandwagon that is way too full. The bandwagon is full. Just go somewhere else. The man made big mistakes in his life, including a mistake that ultimately led to his death, even though he shouldn't have had to die. It should not have happened. The cop should not have put his knee on the dude's neck. Should not have left it there for a really long time. Still, even so, he was still a criminal. Nothing... Okay, obviously I don't know his entire life, but sure seems like he didn't really do anything over the course of his life to earn all of this memorializing, all of this respect that he is getting now that he's dead. It's only because of how he died. Nobody actually cares about him. They care about how he died. And yet, you're all acting like you care about him. A native Houstonian whose death at the hands of a Minneapolis police officer 2 weeks ago catalyzed waves of nationwide and global protests over police brutality. Thousands attended, including Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner. Floyd was born in North Carolina but raised in Houston's 3rd Ward, where a now recognizable mural has been turned into a de facto memorial. Okay. More of that art that you're doing. You're just pissing your art all over the place. Separately, in Richmond, Virginia, a self-described Ku Klux Klan leader was charged with assault after ramming a crowd of protesters with a car. No serious injuries were reported. In Seattle, no serious injuries were reported. Doesn't really sound like he did much ramming. I'm just saying. Using the word ramming. You're ramming a bunch of people with a car. One would expect some serious injuries to come from that. In Seattle, a man was arrested after driving through a protest and shooting at least one person. Back in Minneapolis, Derek Chauvin, the officer responsible for pinning Floyd for close to 9 minutes, made his first court appearance yesterday. Bail was set at $1.25 million without conditions for Chauvin, who faces charges of second-degree murder and third-degree manslaughter. Okay, if they're keeping the third-degree manslaughter up there, why are they doing the second-degree murder thing? Just to see if it sticks, just in case? Because I don't believe that he intentionally killed George Floyd. I don't believe that it was intentional. I think he was just a fucking asshole who wasn't paying attention to what he was doing and how much time was passing. His next court appearance is June 29th. A private funeral service will be held today in Houston. Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden, previously scheduled to attend, will instead meet with Floyd's family ahead of the burial. Police reform bill unveiled. House and Senate Democrats unveiled a sweeping police reform bill yesterday, pulling together a number of proposals, many of which have circulated for years. Among other items, the bill would scale back qualified immunity, making it easier to sue individual police officers for civil rights violations. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think that I'm against that. The question is, what else is involved? Chokeholds would be banned by states as a prerequisite for federal funds. I don't know if I agree with that, though. Sometimes a chokehold might be necessary. Just regulate how you do it. Obviously, 8 or 9 minutes is way too long, and besides, kneeling on somebody's neck is not a chokehold. But either way, doing a proper chokehold for that long, no, that's not necessary. Because if you did it properly, then your opponent is out of commission already. A national registry as a prerequisite for federal funds. A national registry of police misconduct will be established, and the transfer of excess military gear to local police departments reduced. Okay. What if they just stepped up training for using the gear? See a summary of the bill here. No-knock arrest warrants would also be prohibited under the act, a flashpoint for protesters since the March death of Breonna Taylor. Funny how these protests weren't so widespread or so publicized after that woman who was not a criminal died. It just kind of blew up after the criminal had to die. It doesn't make any sense. Taylor was killed when officers in Louisville, Kentucky performed a midnight raid, allegedly without warning, searching for 2 men already in custody who lived far from Taylor's home. And I mean, I don't know if it always should be prohibited. See, that's what I was saying yesterday. Moderation. Do your changes where they're necessary, but do it with caution. Because I'm certain there are times when when not knocking is probably what's best for the situation. Whatever, depending on the level of danger that the criminals that you're trying to arrest pose. So, moderation. Stop doing these big sweeping things, just completely cutting off options for cops who are trying to keep themselves safe, and sometimes it backfires and other people get hurt who shouldn't have. It's just going overboard. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has said the bill will be up for a vote by the end of June. Its path is unclear in the Senate, though Senate Republicans have signaled an openness to reform in the wake of Floyd's death. Senator Rand Paul has previously said no-knock warrants should be banned. I think that there should be some sort of an extenuating circumstances loophole in those cases. And obviously there should be some sort of requirement that cops check and double check and confirm and double confirm that they are in the right place. Historically, the U.S. has lacked federal police policy, which is largely determined by the states. See a deep dive here. And so, I don't know. You want more federal regulation. I don't see that as a good thing. Maybe instead of the federal government reaching down to regulate all the police in all these places, there should be rules for how the states manage their police policy. Don't bypass the states. Global pandemic worsens. The worldwide spread of the coronavirus continues to worsen, World Health Organization officials said yesterday. While a number of countries have lifted restrictions, the outbreak has accelerated elsewhere. New daily cases reported globally hit a record 136,000 Sunday, with at least 100,000 cases reported on 9 of the past 10 days. The primary drivers are South America, 35% of total new daily cases, and Asia, 25%. The latter is fueled by India, reporting around 10,000 new cases each day. Africa remains a looming concern. The continent comprises 5% of total reported daily cases, a number expected to rise. More than 7 million cases have been reported worldwide, with 405,000 deaths. The announcement comes as New York City, the former epicenter of the U.S. outbreak, entered a Phase 1 opening yesterday. The U.S. has reported... I keep yawning. The U.S. has reported 1.96 million cases with 111,007 deaths as of this morning. See the 3-day rolling average here. Separately, the WHO said data showed transmission from asymptomatic patients was quite rare. Really? Quite rare. So all the people who were completely healthy, feeling fine, who wanted to go out and jog or walk their dog or whatever, who were demonized and yelled at because they still could be endangering lives, should not have been. They were innocent. They were being targeted for absolutely nothing. Good to know. About your bed from Thuma. You need an upgrade. For too long, the platform bed frame has been an afterthought, something disposable, replaceable, and decidedly not thoughtfully designed. No longer. Thuma brings us their new take on the platform bed frame with their flagship and aptly named product, the bed. It's full of lifestyle-enhancing details created to solve the biggest problems in the bedroom while combining elevated design, quality craftsmanship, and modern convenience. The strong, sturdy, and quiet foundation is strenuously tested to withstand any and all bedtime activities, and it uses a timeless construction technique called Japanese joinery, allowing it to be assembled with no team or tools necessary. So check out the bed today. It's a true investment piece, built to last a lifetime with Thuma's lifetime warranty. It's no wonder the New York Times, Wirecutter, and Business Insider have all featured the groundbreaking design. Give it a look today. Please support our sponsors. In the know. Sports, entertainment, and culture. U.S. Soccer meets today to review its ban on players kneeling during the national anthem. It had a ban on that. That's really nice. I'm guessing that's not going to last. MLB owners proposed 76-game regular season for 2020. MLB previously rejected offer of 114-game season. I guess the 50-game thing got rejected by the players too. Adam Rappaport, Bon Appetit's editor-in-chief of 10 years, resigns over allegations of racism. Comcast pledges $100 million over the next 3 years to fight social injustice and inequality. So you can bet your fees are going to go up, huh? All you Comcast subscribers. Bonnie Pointer, a founding member of 3-time Grammy Award-winning Pointer Sisters, dies at 69. Science and technology. Astronomers measure the distance to the first observed Einstein ring, 10 billion light-years away from Earth. Phenomenon occurs when an image of a celestial object is distorted into a circle by gravitation lensing. Nobel laureate Tasuku Honjo sues Japanese pharmaceutical firm for $200 million over profits linked to the development of cancer immunotherapies. Study suggests larger brains and enhanced intelligence of ravens and crows are linked to extended childhoods relative to other birds. Raven brains comprise 2% of body mass, similar to humans. And their childhoods last longer than most other birds. Okay, cool. Business and markets. U.S. stock markets up. S&P 500 up 1.2%, Dow up 1.7%, NASDAQ up 1.1%. As NASDAQ reaches record high, S&P 500 now in positive territory for 2020 after 44% surge since March nadir. U.S. economy entered a recession in February, ending 128-month economic expansion, according to the Bureau of Economic Research. But by this time, hopefully, it's just about over. Energy giant BP to cut 10,000 jobs, roughly 15% of workforce, as oil prices slide. They slid again? Macy's shares up double digits in after-hours trading after raising $4.5 billion to fund operations. Good for them. Politics and world affairs. Election 2020. 5 states hold primary elections today. John Ossoff, who lost the most expensive House race in history in 2017, running for Senate seat in Georgia. President Trump to restart large campaign rallies within the next 2 weeks. Iran to execute Iranian citizen who allegedly provided intelligence to U.S. and Israeli intelligence services on the plans of former General Qasem Soleimani, leading to his January killing. Well, yeah, I suppose they're justified in that, but poor guy. Tropical depression Cristobal moves through the middle of the country, may merge with a separate storm system moving down across the Rockies. In depth. It really is different this time, from Politico. For decades, the U.S. has seen waves of protests against racial discrimination in policing, but supporters have often been left frustrated once the cameras depart. 24 experts explain why they think this time may be different. Oh, because all of society has been being groomed for this for the past decade. That's why. How racism shapes my habits. Are you really? Is this about your racism or other people's racism? From Jowanza.com. I'm guessing that means it's other people's racism. Sometimes personal experiences illuminate issues in ways data never can. Oh, so you're saying that anecdotal evidence is better than actual data? Here, the author, a married father of 2, black software engineer, recounts how seemingly simple police encounters have profound and lasting consequences. Yeah, for the people who have been told their entire lives that the police are out to get them, yeah, I guess so. Okay. A bed frame with no tools? Thuma has you covered. The bed uses Japanese joinery. It's beautiful and fascinating. Check it out. So you don't need screws, wrenches, or a team to put together the next and last platform bed frame you'll be getting. The bed is truly a modern luxury foundation with minimalist, globally inspired designs, quality, eco-friendly materials, shipment to your door in 1 to 5 business days, and construction in 5-ish minutes. Buy one today and rest easy with Thuma's lifetime warranty. Please support our sponsors. Etc. Surveying epidemiologists on when life will return to normal. It's full steam ahead into the future of student-athlete influencers. These free tools blur protesters' faces to obstruct online surveillance. Oh, well, that'll be helpful for all the rioters and the people that want to burn shit down and the people that want to fucking kill people. Isn't that helpful? How nice of them. From our partners. Work from anywhere and stay connected. Join thousands of companies moving faster and more efficiently. Start your free trial here. Whatever ad that's for. Here's how Las Vegas casinos welcomed customers back. Visualizing the human impact on the ocean economy. Google Docs is the app of the resistance. The pinker the flamingo, the meaner the flamingo. That's good to know. San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge is now singing out of tune. Okie dokie. Clickbait. Army of ducks set to combat locust plague. Cool. Eat those locusts. Yum, yum, yum. Yum, 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 yum. History book. Roman Emperor Nero commits suicide, 68. Rest in peace author Charles Dickens, 1870. Happy birthday Michael J. Fox, 1961. Secretariat wins horse racing's Triple Crown, 1973. Happy birthday Natalie Portman, 1981. I am careful not to confuse excellence with perfection. Excellence I can reach for. Perfection is God's business. Michael J. Fox. That's a nice quote. 1440. Thank you, 1440. And if anybody watches this and finds any bit of value or entertainment or whatever, insight, please subscribe. I do this every day. Thank you very much. Goodbye.